Sometime later, his alarm went off and he woke. Being a light sleeper, he woke first. He then noticed she was still sleeping a little. He took the time to listen to her breathe, ever so quietly. He couldn't help to think, wow, I massaged this gal's naked booty last night, gave her 2 screaming orgasms, made her breakfast in bed, and she's now sleeping like a baby in my arms, all warm and happy. An amazing vision, to say the least. Well, perhaps if I just lie here a while, she might wake up in a bit. I'll do that and enjoy this moment to take her in with my sense of sight, sound, smell, and touch. Later tonight, maybe. I think I'll see if she'd like to have another orgasm. This time, possibly, with my tongue. I think she'd love that. Oh, she's waking up. Hey there, how'd you sleep? Always good when I'm in your arms. She kissed him and stared into his eyes. He's just got this look to him that I love, she said to herself. Not to mention he's just so darn sexy to look at. What are you looking at? He asked her with a smile. You're just so sexy to look at. I love looking at you when you look at me with your eyes. They make me feel so desired. Well, you are desirable. So there. He smiled back at her. So, are you hungry? Getting there. I'm kind of feeling a little horny right now. I can feel your, it's growing and touching me. Oh, don't mind that. Here, let me have your hand. Ooh, yeah, it is growing. So, what about you feeling horny right now? Please do share. Remember, I'm of service to you, always, he said with an indulging smile. Well, while I'm getting hungry, laying here in bed with you like this, naked, reminds me of what you've done to me, and I think I'm getting kind of horny for you. Here, let me be the judge of that. He reached down to feel her cute, pink, moist cherry box. And as he took his free hand and finger to lift her chin up, he said, Yep, you're getting wet. You make me wet. I just think of you and what you've done to me, and I start to get wet. Well, what do you think we should do about that? He asked in his ever so sexy voice. Well, I was thinking. Yes? She just looked at him with this bright, big smile on her face. Would you like to come again? Yeah. Okay. But this time, we're going to do things a little bit differently to spice things up. Is that okay? Uh-huh. What do you have in mind? Well, this time, as he paused to look over her body, he said, I'd like you to lie on top of me. I'll lay on my back. You lay on top of me, kind of like spooning, and toss your legs over my legs. I'll then reach down to your doorbell, stimulate it like I always do, while my other hand might fondle your breast or hold your hand. We won't be able to kiss much in this position, but afterwards we can. This position of coming for you will blow your mind in a new way, because you'll be in a position, I'll be underneath you, and you'll be lying on top of me. My being underneath you and how my hand reaches down to your cute, moist, wet cherry box of sweet love, as if it were your hand, is what will make this feel a little strange to you per se. That is, normally, it's your hand reaching down there. But it won't be this time. It'll be mine. Your hands, they're free to touch anything, grab anything, fondle anything, you name it. Just feel free to do anything your heart desires, as I do all the work to make you come again, and this time in a new position." "It sounds exciting, the way you describe it. I'd like to try it, as you say." "Have you ever come this way?" he asked, as they got into position. "What do you think?" She shook her head. "No, never. This is my first time coming like this in my life. I'm excited." "Well, you're in for quite a thrill then. Come on, climb up top. Let me slide underneath you. Yeah, like this. Okay, all right, we're almost there." He laid down on the bed and helped her lay on top of him, her back on his chest and stomach, her bent legs spooning his bent legs on top. His right arm was long enough to reach down to play with her doorbell and pet her moist, wet kitty. His free hand could reach her left thigh some, of which he then felt his way down to her hips, on up to her abdomen, and up to her breast and nipples, and stopped there. Maybe he'd slip a hand maneuver real quick to feel her neck, face, and ears. But then that is his free hand to do whatever he wants with. Maybe she'd like to hold his hand at some point. It's always there for the holding. "Are you ready?" he asked her. "Yes," she said. "All right, hold on. I'm about to make you come again, honey." He proceeded to play with her little doorbell after lubricating it with some of her kitty juice. As he began, she closed her eyes and started feeling her breasts with both of her free hands. She could feel his arms hugging her from behind as he lay beneath her while reaching for one of her breasts and her little kitty cat and her doorbell at the same time with his right hand. You can imagine that there's a lot of breast fondling going on here while her doorbell is being played with. This creates a new and different feeling of a coming sensation with so much attention on her breasts and her doorbell at the same time that she's never experienced before. "I can't believe I'm on top of him. And we're both playing with my breasts and nipples, and he's got his other hand so squarely on my doorbell. Even I could never reach it that well myself. He truly is the master at making me come like no other. I'm all his, and he's doing such a great job. I love how my legs are also spread real wide, and as wide as his legs are. I mean, our legs are spooning, and they're spread wide apart for him to reach and play with my doorbell like he is. Ooh, I'm loving this. Oh, I can't wait to come. I can feel it happening," she said to herself. "Honey," she said in a soft voice. "Yes?" "I love you." "I love you too, darling." He carried on with his doorbell throbbing duties like a good love soldier should, making sure he didn't skip a beat when he either fondled her breasts or replied to her expressing her love for him. He knows she's in love and loving this, hence why he's so in love with pleasing her. He knows to blow her circuits and make her come as often as she likes. Note, it isn't a numbers game thing, though, or, oh, I have to make her come or else thing with him. No. It's just a natural right that she's entitled to come as many times as she likes. Because this lover boy just knows how to make her come in minutes, not hours, and with utter ease, anytime or on call. With that type of skill set, why not use it? Within a few minutes of playing with her doorbell and focusing in on her personal pleasure, She was beginning to enter the stage where literally it was a mere countdown to when she would come. This time, though, his changing things up, position-wise, laying on top of him, was going to give her an unexpected type of surprise when she came. That is, to enter into that familiar state of sexual and clitoral mindset. As he kept playing with her doorbell, maintaining a steady, consistent speed so she could concentrate on coming, from time to time, he'd slip a finger down there into her little kitty cat for some needed lubrication, juice, if needed, only to get back to the business at hand of making her come. When she was close to coming, he could feel it. By now, it's getting easier to sense when she's about to come, because 10 seconds before she does, she gets rather quiet, elicits certain body patterns of shaking and slight twitching, and then, 3, 2, 1. Her hand flew off her breast onto the bedsheet, which she gripped. Her knees flew up. Her legs spread a little wider, her backbone arched. And with her head tossed back, almost side by side to his, ear to ear, he kept rubbing his fingers side to side on her cute little doorbell there pretty fast, yet not too hard, while holding her in like a seatbelt with his free arm. She was trapped in a state of total coming. There was no way for her to break free. She couldn't get out of his loving stranglehold. And besides, she didn't really want to. His legs managed to hold her legs too as she tried to close them, due to her clit now coming and throbbing like a loud doorbell. Her body now bouncing around a bit, as if it were possessed by some kind of sexual exploding spirit and rapture inside of her. He kept her in check as she yelled out, "I'm coming, baby! Yeah, I'm coming! Ow!" She screamed out loud. Wow, this orgasm must have really knocked her around, and in a good way. I've not heard her scream so loud like the others I gave her before, he said to himself. She rolled over onto the bed, face down in the pillow, smiling, body just laying there from the sheer exhaustion from having her mind and body blown away again by his one hand on her doorbell. Her body somewhat frozen in time, taking it all in. He rolled over to hug her and moved the covers over her to keep her warm. "You all right?" "Yes. Just lying here for a minute. You did it again. You literally blew me away again. I don't think I can move," she said with a spent kind of smile. "You just lay here and relax. I got you." "I know you do. I love you, baby." "I love you too." They laid there for a few minutes while she gained quasi-consciousness, having been spun around mentally and physically with another mind-blowing orgasm, and in a different position, no doubt. "How'd you like the way I made you come this time? Laying on top of me like that?" "I loved it. I never thought... How did you... How..." "Don't talk. Just rest." They continued to lie there, snuggling each other close under the covers, naked, warm, and overboard happy in their state of new dreamlike bliss. "When you're ready, I'll get up and I'll start dinner. Meanwhile, I'm right here." "Thank you. Don't leave me yet. I'm loving you here with me as I come down from all of this." "No worries. Take as long as you like. I'm right here holding you." "Why are you so good to me?" she asked him in a soft, sweet, and feminine voice. "Well, I suppose it's just who I am. And I really like you. So you're going to get this kind of treatment that you're getting, because this is just who I am. It has nothing to do really with trying to win you over, or I'm trying to, try hard to please you. No. I'm like this 24/7, 365. Just catch me by surprise any day of the week and ask me to be good to you. My way of doing what I do and how I do it won't change. I'm just like this. That's it. I've always been like this. I will always be like this. When I give you my all, I get immense pleasure out of seeing you enjoy how I treat you. It's that simple. I derive my pleasure from giving you pleasure. The more pleasure I give you, the more I get in return. And yet, I haven't even thrown myself into the equation, physically speaking, you know? Yeah. But when do you get yours? I mean, we haven't really done it yet. And yet you are still all into pleasing me like you have. Well, when it comes to sex, if that's what you're referring to, I hold that to be very special. Like I might have said earlier, if I did, or if not, I'll say it again. Sex is special and should be treated as so. That said, I first want to feel you out, which I am, and I'm loving it. You and your doorbell is very cute, and so is your cute, pink, moist, wet kitty cat. And, of course, very wet, yes. I love your breasts and licking your nipples too. If I spent a week or two just pleasing you and pleasing you more and really just winding you up with so much pleasure that by the time things get to a point where it's time for me to maybe slide it on in because you can't stand it, for me not to anymore. At that point in time, you and I will have so much sexual experience, memories and visions together, and coming and orgasms and everything to where you and I will enjoy that aspect of each other, not only sexually, but almost beyond something spiritual. It's like waiting for something you want, but you can't have it yet. I think in postponing me sliding it on in, we work our way up to it, to when it should actually happen. No one's rushing into it. Therefore, we're building up to it. Building up to doing it actually increases the joy we will have when that time comes. What's more, you have the safe luxury of getting to know me before I enter you. To me, that carries a lot of weight toward my respecting you and not just wanting you for my own personal gain or pleasure. Does that make sense? It does. It makes total sense. And I'm starting to see how you think regarding all of this and our time together. I'm learning how you make the decisions you do and do what you do and why. I've never met anyone so careful and caring about my feelings, how you look out for me, how you're patient, how you're not in a rush, and how you know so much about how to please a woman. I've never heard, read, or seen anything like in the way you talk about. No movie, porn doesn't even go into this kind of love-making, please her first aspect. I don't ever see or hear anyone emphasizing so much kissing like we do. Sex experts, they know nothing compared to what you know and how you go about what you're saying. What else can I say except I agree with you 100%? While they lay there pondering all that conversation, she thought to herself, this has got to be the smartest man I know, where it relates to these topics we spoke of. I mean, I'm constantly learning, constantly experiencing something new, constantly impressed. What's next for me to experience? I'm open to anything he wants to try or do to me. I really am. Everything so far has been almost magical. By now, they could definitely hear their stomachs growl. Yep, it was time for Din Din. Taking one more moment to hold each other, look into each other's eyes, and kiss one more time, they both said, "Let's eat." Smiling and all happy, they hopped out of bed. He put on a pair of snug jeans and a tight t-shirt, while she put on her robe with nothing on underneath. She must be enjoying their nakedness and hanging out half nude with him. He wore the jeans and tight t-shirt because it showed off his body, and she loved that. Broad shoulders, muscular arms, a tight ass, and long, muscular runner's legs. She could just look at him and stare at him with dreamy eyes whenever he prepared a meal for the two of them. With his back to her, she could check out his cute butt, while she sat there at the kitchen island with her boobs slightly exposed, kind of playing with herself, because her robe wasn't tied too tightly, as it was a little loose. So she sat there, smiling like a schoolgirl, dreaming about him, like she was going to kiss the boy she had a crush on in school. Okay, I'm going to whip up these soft tacos in no time flat. Would you like a margarita? I'd love a margarita, she said as he looked down to see her semi-open robe showing off one of her breasts. I just had an orgasm and I could use a drink. Here, open this bag of chips. We got the salsa here, so we've got some chips and salsa before dinner. We're going to get this party started. He reached into the freezer to grab 2 cold mugs. Then he grabbed the margarita salt, 1 lime, and the ready-to-drink margarita bottle, which was chilling in the fridge all this time. After slicing up a lime to spread on the rim of each glass, he dipped the glasses into the margarita salt. Then, after putting some ice in the frozen mugs, he poured the ready-to-drink margarita beverage into each mug. I just love how you take care of me. Serving me like this, you seem to enjoy it. Here you go. Cheers, or estimado, as they say in Spanish. Oh, can you speak Spanish? Sure. Burrito, taco, quesadilla, chimichanga, grande tacos, Cancun, Puerto Vallarta. You're so silly. You can't speak Spanish. Duh. I know the important words, don't I? I won't starve, that's for sure. They laughed, and they sipped their margaritas. Oh, man, this hits the spot, he said. It sure does. After what I've been through, this really tops it off. He then proceeded to prepare the sweet potatoes by slicing them and tossing them in a skillet with sesame oil and Mrs. Dash Southwest Chipotle seasoning blend. He then sliced the onions and peppers. He tossed the thawed-out shrimp in another skillet to sauté. Everything was smelling so delish. He then placed 4 tortillas on a cookie sheet, to which he then sprinkled some Mexican cheese on each of them. They would be placed in the oven to warm up and melt the cheese a little at the same time. When everything was done and cooked, he'd take the tortillas out of the oven and place the ingredients on the tortillas, wrapped them up like little mini burritos, and serve on a plate to eat, love, and enjoy. Now, what you do is you take a bite out of your little burrito, and then you place 1 tablespoon of this cold salsa on the top where you bit into it, like this. The cold sensation of the salsa matched with the hot burrito, temperature-wise, not spicy, just makes for the most excellent of tasty sensation as you eat them. Here, try it. She reached for the spoon he was using and followed his advice. Oh my! Oh, these are delicious. I'm definitely going to love these. So good. Dinner was yet another success that night. Margaritas and his special sweet potato soft tacos with sauteed shrimp. Whoa. It all just hit the spot. They were hungry, and this delish meal took care of their hunger. They also could have used a drink after that orgasmic exploding workload. The margaritas were there to hit that spot too. Would you like another margarita? He asked. Sure, one more. I think I'm getting a little drunk. Heh, that's okay. I'm here to carry you back to my bedroom if you need help walking or finding the way. Well, then make my margarita a double. Ha ha ha, that's cute. Here you go. As he poured her a fresh new margarita in a new frozen glass with new salt and ice. Hey, after dinner, let's watch that movie, Don Juan DeMarco, that I mentioned the other day. Yeah, let's do it. They wrapped up dinner and dishes and headed off to their respective bathrooms just to wash up and brush their teeth. Being quite full from dinner, dessert wasn't exactly on the menu quite yet, but maybe later. There was a different kind of ice cream in the freezer this time. His favorite, mint and cookies and cream. This is a 7-Eleven brand that he had never seen before, but tried it and he fell in love with it. We'll see if she likes it too, but later. Returning to the bedroom, they met up, kissed, and took their clothes off again. This time, they helped each other. Her robe easily came off, while she enjoyed unbuttoning his jeans and taking off his shirt. Oh, no boxers underneath? Just your naked body underneath your jeans? Yep. After what we went through, I kind of just wanted to stay in the mood a little bit. I like, as she copped a feel of his candy cane and candy balls while she looked up to kiss him.